Welcome back. Today we are going to try to avoid different CNC crashes. Here are some videos on different crashes. These are mistakes and they are very expensive. Sometimes you will hit your vise or your machine, or even you can break your tools. And some of these bits are quite expensive, hundreds of dollars, and if you break your machine, even more. So I was looking different type of sensors. I was looking some limit switches, and I found this inductive proximity sensor. And this sensor, it's about 4 millimeters, and it has 3 wires. It supports 6 volts to 36 volts, and they're quite cheap. They actually come from Amazon in a pack with just about $13 each. It has already enough size of a cable. It has pretty good size, so it's about 60 millimeters. So I thought that this one it was a better option instead of a limit switch. The limit switches, they are sometimes they break. I don't like them personally for this type of machines. So it's important to see, as I mentioned in different videos, this is a par 4. And I mentioned it, sometimes you can see the wiring connections. In here, we can see that this is a normally open circuit, which means that the sensor it will be always kind of open unless it gets triggered. It will close the connection, sending it a signal to the DDCS. So one of the things that it was interesting for me is that the black wire, it is actually part of the signal. When I was wiring it for first time, I thought that actually the brown cable was the signal. I don't know, it just felt weird. Anyways, but I came back to the diagram to just double check what it was and that was the reason why it was not properly working. This proximity sensor, it supports a range between 6 volts and 38 DC voltage. So we're gonna start looking on the panel. This is for part 4 of using the limit switch, in this case proximity sensors. So I have to create the holes in the panel for each of the limits. In this case, we have X, Y, and Z, and this is what you are seeing here. We are just wiring the same connectors that we have been using it. You can take a look on the different videos. I go in detail. This is part 4. I go in details on all of the different pieces. This video is going to be more about the limit switches, in this case proximity sensor. So once that we connect that, we also have different connectors to be able to plug it into the DDCS. Right now, if you notice, I'm just connecting those 3 cables from the sensor, and I need to send it to the DDCS. This is what is happening, and I have to do the same for all of the different axes. So once that we do that, we will have to have, and it's very clear on the DDCS, and sometimes it tells you in the sensor. So this is what I was telling you. I was trying to wire the different cables, and also when you are wiring the cables, make sure that you are kind of soldering them. Sometimes you can use other methods to be able to connect them together, but I think that this type of things is just easier to just solder them. And I also have the heat wraps to be able to help me out once that I finish. So I just right now I'm connecting all of them, which in this case is three cables, and I'm just going one by one, soldering them, and then I move the heat wrap. And the sound that you hear there is because I don't want to actually smell the lead. Some of these soldering, it has lead on it, so that's the reason why I'm using that kind of like a little vacuum there to help me out. So once that I do that, I can just use the little heat gun to be able to shrink it instead of using the tape, to be able to, the electrical tape. So once that the cables are like that, I have to do the same for each of the axes. And right now I connected one, right? I will be able to connect X, Y, Z. I'm speeding up this because, again, you already saw how it is, so it's the same for the different cables. The other thing, I really like that label machine. It's like it was like a $20 in Amazon, but I think that is very neat. When you have already the same connectors, it's important to kind of label them. I saw some other people just putting markers, and I don't know. I feel that if you're going to the extreme of doing this, as might as well just do it properly. So another thing that I noticed is that if you uh, put, because sometimes you have to remove the cables, and it gets messy because these are the same color. So I'm marking them as well, the cables for the axis, and also the limits. So I know that is the limit for the X, the Y, and the Z. So right now that's what I'm doing. I'm marking all of them. Okay, this is getting heavy. But anyways, right now we have to turn it on. So in that way we can start configuring it, because we have to provide the different pins. So one of the things that I need to double check is that, because I'm moving the box around, I want to make sure that none of the components are like loose or anything like that. So I'm just checking that. Also, I'm plugging into the power and just turning it on, and I can see if anything is okay, kind of like nothing is falling apart. Then I'm turning it on. So something that I noticed there is that I was missing some labels, so that's the reason why I kind of lifted it. But anyways, let's go back to where we were. One of the things that it was important is to configure each of the pins on the controller. So I have to double check, and I wanted to test them out. Right now I was trying to figure out, okay, if I move the sensor, yep, it's actually kind of going. But it was kind of weird because I was expecting it to be in different limits. So I actually inverted them. So that's the reason why you have to go double clicking the page and button in the DTCS, and then you have to find where it says the limit switch inputs, and by default there is certain pin numbers. You just need to select the pin number that you selected for each of them. So I took some pictures also to help me out to remember where I'm connecting them, and then I'm changing them there. And again, very straightforward, very easy. You can just use the same ones. So I'm testing it again to see, okay, if I'm moving this manually, how it will stop it, and it triggers the alarm. So I'm doing that one by one, because right now we're gonna need 2 for each axis. So 2 for X, 2 for Y, and 2 for Z. So now the other thing that you'll notice is that this CNC was very rusty, because I purchased it used. So I'm getting that in order to just clean it up, to remove some of the oxide. And this thing, let me tell you, it worked pretty well. So you just start cleaning it out and just leave it there for a few minutes, and it really remove a lot of the oxidation that it was there. So just be careful, do not try to smell all of that fume. and yeah, just I kind of left it there. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys that it was very easy to just kind of clean it up a little bit. I didn't want to because it's the base of the CNC. I didn't want it to scratch it or anything like that, right? So that's the reason why I was trying to just clean it. And again, maybe in some point I might have to change the bed. But anyways, it was very straightforward. Only a few minutes it took. Then after I clean it out, then I start trying to clean it also, because again, I refurbished all of this CNC. It was very cheap. Yeah, also the other thing is make sure that you have glasses and wearing gloves. Anyways, once that we finished that, I was trying to figure out how to place the ones on the bottom, and I found this aluminum angle to be able to help me out to kind of guide it through. So I thought that maybe in the bottom, and I started actually making the holes on the bottom, and I was measuring in order to tap them. I was using M4s, and I was kind of crooked there a little bit, but when you're tapping, make sure that you're as straight as possible. But yeah, it didn't cause any problem. I was able to tap it within the same cap that I was going through. But yeah, I'm not very good at tapping there. So um, once that I did it with the drill, it was more straightforward, and I was able to just put the one. So I move it around, and then I was able to now do it manually, which it was a little more straight. I will put as always, I will put um, the links on the products that I'm using. Actually, this one is pretty nice compared to other ones. I was looking in Home Depot, other tools, and they were quite expensive. Sometimes in Amazon you can get better deals. Anyways, right now I'm just placing it. Yeah, by the way, you can cut those with a miter saw. I did not record that, but you can basically aluminum. You can cut it with sometimes like with wood tools. So that's what I did. I just used a miter saw in order to cut the that angle aluminum. Alright, so we need to also do some of the other ones. We have this one is the X, and the good news is that it has like a thread. So as you can see, I was able to place it in the position, and right now I'm just testing it to see if it gets triggered. And yep, if you notice, it gets triggered. So I wanted to show you a little more slow process, right? So that way you can see how I can use. This one is the Z. If you remember in the beginning of the video, there were a bunch of crashes on the Z. So I think that is because in some cases they program the system, but the system doesn't have a hard stop. I know that I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. So I wanted to make sure that a lot of my sensors are physically blocking the sensing. So in this case, I'm trying to see if I can crash it. I'm lowering the z-axis to the max, and suddenly I was kind of getting nervous there because it was not stopping. But I actually take a look at the back, but it wasn't close to trigger it. But yeah, in fact, actually, let me just do a little close up here, and you can see that the z-axis also was getting a hard limit. So that's exactly what we wanted to do. And I also have tested all of the other ones. I tested it for if you notice, that was the other thing. The sensor, you can catch it with the red light, which is quite nice. And now we're gonna move the y-axis to test it out. So same thing, right? We can just pull it out a little bit to see how if it's working or not. And once that is working, then you can see that it also triggers the hard stop, which if you notice there, it has the red light there. And as well, because it sends the signal to the DDCS, let me just do a close up here. Y-axis also hard limit. So once again, I think that if you want to see the full video on the different parts, how we have been building this, it's pretty good. Once again, a recap. This is the proximity sensor for the x-axis. This is for the y-axis. And on the other side, you'll see where I place it. The rest, I place it on the, I guess the gantry of the CNC at the up to the top. So you can see the different ones for the Y and the Z axis. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and so that way you can get the next videos.